Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday with me, Ryan, aka Sifu Messiah. This is a weekly show which covers everything from the world of Star Citizen over the past week. Links can be found in the description for everything we discuss, so let's get on with it. So I just want to start off by giving a huge thank you to Gabriel, Harry, Daniel and Cedric, who have all become my latest patrons this week. Really appreciate your support. It really helps me get these videos out to you, and I just cannot thank you enough. If you are still to sign up to the RSI website, please use my referral code as shown on screen or in the description, and you'll receive 5,000 United Earth credits which can be spent in the Voyager Direct store for your ships, your character or whatever you choose. You don't have to spend anything to sign up, it's only once you pledge that I'll be granted an RP point, which will get me some little rewards in the future. This week, Chris is back to answer 10 questions, we see a new lore segment in Around the Verse, plus you can try Star Citizen for free. So kicking off with 10 for the chairman. First question being, are there plans to streamline the patch size? Very important. Chris says yes, they've newly configured a plan. Every byte they push costs them money as well, so the plan is to come into place, which will only send what's new rather than the whole build every time. It won't be tomorrow that it comes online, but they are working on it now. Question after that is, are NPCs in a given area generated based on the current environment and the perimeter set within that area? And Chris says that the Universe Simulator, which is on a separate server, will simulate what all the NPCs are doing. And then it'll get trickled down into our local servers. So for example, if you're on a planet, it would say this is a mining planet with a population of this size. And then it will populate X amount of NPCs, 60% of them will be miners, some of them will be law enforcement, some of them will be service workers, maybe going to a bar, etc, all generated by the data given from the Universe server. Also, if a place falls into hard times, then people will begin to leave. If they are losing their jobs, they will go to other planets to seek better jobs. You will start to see less people, the mine may shut down, and then things like criminals will increase. Also, you'll see things like graffiti, so there are visual aspects which will change. It'll all change dynamically with what is happening in the universe. And again, another example is if AI pirates are attacking a cargo run between two planets, the company which is not getting its goods will hire bounty hunters like ourselves to go after them. And if you kill them all, then again this will get pushed into the Universe Simulator. And then if you fly in that area, the pirates won't spawn there anymore as you have taken them out. He says you will feel places change over time depending on what is happening, and yes, players can have an influence in a certain area, which will again trickle down into the visuals of that area. Very cool. Next question. In regards to spaceflight, should there be an advantage to getting on your target's 6 and staying there, or is it pretty much negated by the 6 degrees of freedom flight? And he says that in all circumstances, even in 6 degrees of flight, staying on someone's tail or in their blind side will always have an advantage. Good pilots will be able to get out of that situation if they do have someone on their tail, but visibility and weapons are generally forward facing, particularly in single fighter ships. So yes, it would be a benefit. Next question, how far are we from docking and undocking, particularly the Merlin to Constellation? They said they really want to get the Connie and the P-52 Merlin working together. Once the landing systems are finished, which is what's being worked on currently, just to tweak them a little bit, that'll likely be the next task. Again, it will be pretty much like the landing system, so if you get into a certain area behind the Constellation and then hit the dock button, it will automatically take you into the docking. They say it's not difficult to do, it's just a lack of time. Also, they say they have the drift working where you can land in it, you can take off from it. All part of the object container system, which still needs a little bit of work, but it's coming soon. TM. Next question is, will there be a realistic audio option? For example, no sound in the vacuum. And Chris says that short term, no. They went for a specific sort of Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica route with sounds for coolness. Longer term though, they say the sound department may do a realistic sound simulation option. They need to finish other stuff like the music system and the directional VoIP, in which your voice will be filtered if you're wearing things like helmets. So all this is coming first, and then later on down the line they may feel like they want to go more realistic. I would actually prefer it to be as realistic as possible with the audio, because it gives that sort of atmospheric isolation, whereas if you see things exploding and hear them all the time, it kind of ruins that. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on that one. Next question, what is the intent to personally owned NPC fleets? So basically, how many NPCs can one player own? And they say they'll allow you to hire NPCs to help crew a ship or as an escort. They'll likely cap it to a certain number, but they've not thought that out yet. So basically, he doesn't really have an answer yet, but it would make sense to the help that you are needing. If you have an Adrift, then you may be allowed more NPCs than if you were just needing an escort. So you could have 10 NPCs maybe to help crew your Adrift, but you're not going to be able to have 10 escorts flying alongside you. Question after that is, what will be the point of farming? Now the Endeavour biodromes will allow you to grow crops and sell for a premium. These can be anything from narcotics to wheat and other plant life. It will be a career which you could make quite a good living out of, and again, they'll have some interesting gameplay involved. Maybe you've got to go near a certain star to get better radiation to help your crops grow, or into a lower gravity area to grow a better strain of plant. Animal farming, he said, may come later on, but it's not going to be with the first iterations, so we'll have to wait and see. So second to last question, are you talking to exobiologists, exoplantologists, and exoclimatologists for direction and help when designing the ecosystem and climate for the planets? And he says they have done a lot of work with UCLA and dealing with astrophysicists to work these things out. Basically, CIG come up with a planet's design and then ask the experts for the science behind it and where it should be in location to certain stars and so forth. Ecosystems and climates are still early days, but they say it's more going to be from a design aspect than a scientific aspect. So a bit more design and then a mixture of science to make it more realistic. Final question, now that Vulkan is officially released, has the Frankfurt team had chance to see about supporting this API alongside DirectX 12? And Chris says that they have looked at it and they are excited about it. They are considering the options, but no decision has been made yet. The benefit, he says, with Vulkan is that it can work on other platforms other than Windows, so like Linus. But you never know what they're going to do. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that was 10 for the chairman. Let me know your thoughts. So on to Around the Verse, the aptly numbered 2.22. Sandy and Ben start off by just mentioning that the Squadron 42 dog tags, this is the third fleet, are on sale now. I've just picked up a pair. I did actually pledge for the second fleet, but for some reason I was refunded. Anyway, looking forward to them. Straight on to news from Around the Verse, starting with the LA CIG office. They've got a new employee who is taking vehicle components and importing them into the new item system. Welcome to him. They're also working on heavy armor and components, level of detail pass, and level of details in general. Austin CIG, they are bug testing 2.2, getting as many bugs fixed, and they are actively testing now 2.3. Hopefully we'll see it in the PTU very, very soon. So excited for this. Working on the NPC world population animation sets, including Astro Armada and G-Lock, etc. Squadron 42 animations are being worked on too, in particular Mark Hamill. They're working on Starfarer ladder animations, so it must be close. They're providing support for persistence, and they're looking at the shopping front, particularly Kasaba, and economy work is ongoing. They're also looking at what real-life ship components will cost for in-game pricing. Foundry 42 Frankfurt, they mostly spoke about Bar Citizen, but they also mentioned that Chris and Erin is coming out to discuss procedural technology and taking it to the next level. Very excited to see this. I just really want to fly down to a planet. Anyway, the wonderful world of Star Citizen with Jared was interviewing our very own redacted member, Board Gamer. Congratulations to you, sir. You did an awesome job. Totally deserved. I'm sure you all know Board Gamer. If you don't, go check out his YouTube channel. Some excellent tutorials. Highly recommended subscribing. The ATV behind the scenes this week was with Behaviour, and they were looking at the new Subflare, which is about the new space plants. If you want to know what they say, do find the link and watch that. It just gives you updates as to what they've been working on. And next was a new piece called The Lawmaker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is a really great show where the law team talk about certain things within the law. This week it was Cherie, who is the archivist, talking about the Horus system and just taking us through this system and why she likes it. I really, really recommend watching this. So much cool information. I won't bother reading it all out now because I do my own system guides, so it'll all come out then. But the links are in the description, so follow the links to the timescale on Around the Verse and watch it. It's really, really cool. Like to see more of them. Most valuable post goes to Kanado for his Radar Globe 2.0, in which he showcases the current radar globe which we have in our ships and explains how it works and what he thinks needs to change. And the sneak peek is the AR prototype with dynamic labels. So again, a work in progress, but this is what it's likely to look like when we get persistence and shopping. Anyway, that was Around the Verse, very short and sweet as usual. Let's move on to Reverse the Verse. So not very much to pull out from Reverse the Verse, but we'll get started. First off with the week in review. Now, if you didn't know, Justin Chambers, who is the editor of most of the videos that we watch, has actually written and directed a film which is premiering now called American Bread. I've not seen it. I've seen the trailer. I'll put the link in the description for the trailer. Do check it out. It looks really cool. So congratulations, Justin. The Star Map, which is the standalone physical map, is getting ready to ship. They will sell the remainders of them, so if you didn't pick one up in the early days, you will be able to buy them again. It will be rolled, not folded. I really cannot wait to get mine. It was the first thing I pledged back in December, I believe, of 2012, when I first saw this game come into fruition. Super excited to get hold of that. Sales of CitizenCon tickets will be kicking off soon as well. Pre-sales will be for subscribers on Thursday, and then after that, they'll be open to everyone. It is at the Avalon in Hollywood. Oh, I do wish I could go to that. Anyway, questions and answers. What is the plan with the Redeemer? They say it needs a rework for the modern ship system, very much like we're seeing with the Hornet and so forth, to get all the things ready for components, etc, etc. Question after that is, can we get a Jean vertical mouse pad? Which sounds brilliant, but they said no. Any updates to Concierge Flare? They are done with it. They will be rolling it out within the next few weeks. Question after that is the Reliant release just the base, or is it the variants? And it says it's just the base. They are attempting to put together a new ship shape, which is a series of 7 parts, all based on the Reliant's building process, so we'll get to see the Reliant from beginning to end. Very, very cool. And again, it goes to show how quick they can get these ships out now. Now they have the ship pipeline working a lot better. What are the next ships to be worked on is the next question, and they say there's about 7 to 8 in the development process at the moment, including the Caterpillar, the Bengal, the Reliant as we know, which they're getting finished up. The Jean Scout is in its flight trials, the Herald is being worked on, and all the Vandal ships ready for Squadron 42. Also, the Idris, which has had its first test of multi-crew FPS, internally viewed, which sounds very exciting. Question of that is, will ship speed change? And they say yes, they are always globally trying to slow down combat or speeding up combat, so ships' speeds will change. They are not set in stone yet, so do hold off if you are a little annoyed at this. Things will change. Second to last question, what's going on with the official HOTAS? They say they are still awaiting a prototype. Once they've got that in, they'll play with it themselves and see if it's something they want to release, and then decide whether or not to allow it for pre-sales. Final question, will there be any more Star Citizen hoodies? And they say yes, they're looking at doing a Squadron 42 version. Also, they're working on ship manufacturer patches, which is very, very cool. 2 sets of them, each will have a subscriber exclusive patch. My god, they are taking my money. And then looking ahead, they say they'll have a sale at the end of the week, but there'll be more details later. And also, you've got till the 20th of March to enter the free fly. They have unlocked every flyable ship that's available for everyone. Even if you haven't pledged, you'll create an account, always use my referral code, download the game, and just give it a go, see how your computer runs it, see how you feel about it. This gives you the best chance to test out what ships you want, and then when you come to pledge, you'll have an idea of what you're looking for. Very, very exciting, big deal. So anyway, that was Reverse the Verse. Let me know your thoughts. So also this week there was a flash sale on Star Citizen t-shirts. They are $6 for extra small, and I think there are some small ones left, and maybe extra large. I think they are $12. I actually picked up a couple of the extra small ones to put on my wall. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see what that looks like, once I receive them obviously. There's a new advocacy archive titled Abduction. It's kind of a CSI report of a recent Vandal abduction in the Elysium system. March subscriber flare, which is the Space Flowers and the Dog Tag sale, each have their own posts this week, so do follow the links if you are interested. Finally, there was a roundup post regarding the Free Fly Week 2.2.2 patch and Star Citizen on social media. I would like to give a huge thank you to all of our patrons. Your support really allows us to create these videos. I have recently updated our Patreon rewards and goals to better reflect our direction. Things like Star Citizen package giveaways and private gaming sessions with me would be a good way to thank you all for helping the channel. Follow the Patreon link in the description if you would like to help. So just a quick heads up for those who prefer to listen to Star Citizen Sunday on the move. I'm in the process of adding all of the episodes of Star Citizen Sunday to SoundCloud, which gets them into an MP3 format, so be sure to follow me on there. Today's episode will be up a little later. Once it's on there, I will be adding them also to iTunes as podcasts. So again, be sure to check it out. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers, plus a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible.